Well, it's the evening now in Winter Park on Park Avenue. Most of the restaurants and shops have closed. I'm just taking a walk at the end of the day, enjoying the cool air of the evening. And on my right here is the park on Park Avenue. And on the left, we see the shops that are closing up. So here's something very basic. How does a Stoic seek happiness? And not just in the philosophical ancient Greek way. How can we seek happiness in modern times? Well, I'm going to reach back to a podcast that I did earlier in 2025. I don't have the link handy, so I can't put it in the messages, but in that podcast I described how a Stoic seeks happiness, and it's really a three-part deal. The first part is recognizing that the virtues lead to happiness. So that specifically means that when we are practicing the virtues of wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, last one is also known as moderation, when we practice those virtues, we find happiness in life because the virtues are the core elements of life, how human beings need to treat each other. And that, of course, leads to happiness, not just within oneself, but also towards others. So practicing the virtues is first. And then the second step, which is equally important, is that practicing the virtues is under our control. When a Stoic is working on self-improvement or on one's character, practicing the virtues is under our control. We may have other events and people around us that are not within our control, but practicing the virtues is within our control because they are the choices that we make based upon values, either that we've picked up from society or from studying philosophy. So if you realize that it is within your control, then that's another thing that leads you to happiness. And finally, the third step, which is important, I'm going to cross the street here. There's not a lot of traffic going on. All right. The third step that I want to share with you is that when we practice the virtues, this is a representation of living according to nature. In other words, this is not just a man-made thing. By practicing the virtues, we align ourselves with nature so that we are moving in the correct direction. We are being virtuous. Of course, if we ignore the virtues, then we fall into vice. And we are working against nature, and we are treating people badly. Sounds kind of obvious, but those are the three important steps. Realizing that the virtues lead to Eudaimonia, or a deep sense of happiness. Realizing that practicing these virtues is under our control. And finally, that it is living according to nature. It's more specific than that general philosophical thing. So I'm standing in front of the train station. It's almost midnight. Hope you've learned something today. I want to thank Zach and Edwin for listening tonight. Hope you can put some of these virtues and their practice into your daily life. Thanks for watching. This is Stoic Dan in Orlando.